What is up, bros, and welcome to the All Bros podcast. I am Jonathan.
And I'm Caleb.
And we are a couple of aspiring filmmakers that love to watch and critique movies, but also enjoy a bit of the nerd life. This week on the podcast, we will be, I think we've brought this up, that we're kind of doing away with Funko Focus. It's kind of just going to be like, if we have a Funko Pop that we want to talk about, we'll either like kind of bring it up like right at the beginning, or we'll put it in through the wall, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Like it'd have to be like a pop figure that just really blows us away for us to bring it up. Yeah, and it's kind of has to be in like a sweet spot of no other news coming up.
Yeah, this is true.
But yeah, I think Funko Focus is dead, so we can stop bringing it up.
Yeah, so after this episode, if you guys don't hear anything more about Funko Focus, don't be surprised. It's dead. It's never coming back. Say goodbye. So blunt. So instead of starting off Funko Focus, we'll be starting off with our 4K Spotlight. We got a brand new title that we want to chat with you guys about. That came out, what was it, this summer, I think? Didn't it come out this summer? Like
That's
July
a good
or
question.
something?
It came out a little bit before Shang-Chi did, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, maybe like late August?
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. So we'll be talking about that. With Through the Wall, we'll be talking about some Marvel's Avengers news, as well as a new poster that we got that doesn't really give a lot away, but there is still stuff that we want to say. Yeah, we rhyming on this. We rhyming on this episode.
Bloody hell.
And then after those two things with Through the Wall, we'll be moving on to our All Bros headliner of the evening, which will be our breakdown of Marvel's Eternals.
Hells yes.
Yeah, so what do you say we get started, Caleb?
Say let's do it. Oh my gosh, I'm so stupid. I forgot soundboard. Oh, yeah.
Need motivation? Angry Dad Podcast. Trying to jumpstart your life? Angry Dad Podcast. You want help getting off the couch? Angry Dad Podcast. You need a verbal kick in the ass? Angry Dad Podcast. You want to hear from somebody who's been through it all? Angry Dad Podcast. I am here for you. You can find me on all podcast platforms.
All right, so first jumping into 4K Spotlight, we have Jungle Cruise coming to 4K and Blu-ray this week, starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. And both of us have yet to see this yet, but fret not, everyone. I already pre-ordered the Steelbook, so me and Caleb will be checking it out very soon. So didn't want to worry you guys.
It's also going to be on Disney Plus in a couple days.
Well, damn it. Okay. Still buying it, though.
Yeah, so that's one of the things, I think, what is they call it? Disney Plus Day. They're releasing a bunch of movies, and one of the big ones is Jungle Cruise, but they're also releasing, like, Shang-Chi and...
Aren't they also releasing that Home Alone movie that day?
Yeah, dude, they're releasing a bunch of shit.
But yet they won't... I know they're premiering new shows on Wednesdays, but you couldn't give us... At least maybe like how about on Disney Plus Day you give us the first episode of Hawkeye, and then that Wednesday after you give us the second episode. There you go. You're still on track to finish the series when you wanted to.
I mean, you're not wrong, but still, I think they wanted to do a 2-episode premiere.
I know. I just really want to see Hawkeye.
Well, you got what, 14 more days?
So long.
Yeah, no, it freaking sucks.
But anyway, so Jungle Cruise is coming to 4K. Shockingly, or shocker, Best Buy is getting the 4K Steelbook, which I really like the design. I think it looks really good. It has Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, along with, I think it's Emily Blunt's brother in the movie. Them on the ship, or the boat, whatever. But it's like a kind of like a wide shot. It's not close up on them. It's actually like kind of like a wide shot. And it looks super, super cool. So I'm really glad that I pre-ordered it. And then they're going to be doing a Target exclusive that... What is it again? Because Target's doing this like weird, starting to do this very interesting thing now with Disney exclusives. They come now, so they're called art editions, and they come with exclusive original designs, which include 2 limited edition foil etched prints. So, I mean, kudos to Target for switching it up and doing something different. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah. So, like, I like the one for Jungle Cruise. I hate the one that they did for Shang-Chi.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm probably just being maybe just because it's like too simple for me. It's literally just rings flying in the air.
Yeah, I guess you're right there, huh?
Okay, so I'm not crazy?
I mean, you're still a little crazy, but not
Why?
as
Because
not
it's
as bad.
Shang-Chi?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, okay. Sorry, never mind. Dude, for a second I thought like they had like a different, like they had like 2 steelbooks for Shang-Chi, and I was just like, wait, where the hell is the second one going? But no, it's still just one.
Nice.
But yeah, so Jungle Cruise is coming to 4K. That's really it. A couple of Mad Max films are also coming to 4K this week, along with actually Candyman, the remake, is coming out. Then I think that's it. Oh, I gotta touch upon this. One of my favorite Christmas movies, and I don't care who hates this film, is coming to Blu-ray finally. Christmas with the Cranks. It's coming out this Tuesday, and I am so buying it. Freaking love that movie. I am so excited. So,
is that like a not well-liked Christmas movie?
No, it's not. So many people hate it.
Jeez.
Have you seen it?
The name sounds familiar. Let me just figure that out. No, I don't think I have.
Real? Okay. All right. Well, if it comes with the digital code, I don't think it does. I'll send it to you, but I think it's on a streaming platform somewhere.
Cool. We'll have to make that one a movie night.
Hell yeah, I'm down. I want to see if someone else actually likes this movie. You know what? Now that this movie's coming to Blu-ray, they just need to put Unaccompanied Minors on Blu-ray, and then
my gosh, that movie.
Some of my favorite Christmas. Screw you, bro. I love.
Okay, now I'm questioning whether or not I'm actually going to watch Christmas with the Cranks with you. Then.
Because my taste is that bad. Since I actually like Unaccompanied Minors.
Your taste in holiday film is questionable.
Hey, I hate Home Alone. Well, actually, yeah, that's true. Because you hate Home Alone 3, and I like Home Alone 3.
Oh my god! Then didn't you have like a hard? Wait, was it you? Someone didn't like Elf. Was it you?
No, I love it, dude. We reviewed Elf.
I know, but I don't remember if you.
No, I loved Elf.
I think it might. I want to say it's Vic that didn't.
Yeah,
like
it was
Elf.
Either Vic or DJ, but I think it was Vic.
My money's on Vic.
Yeah. So I do have good taste in some Christmas movies.
Some.
Hey, everyone has those like Christmas movies that everyone else like thinks is like complete dog shit, but you love. Don't you have some?
I don't know. I don't.
Oh.
I'll be 100% real. I feel like I'm a little bit of a Scrooge, but not in like I'm putting down everyone else's holiday spirit. It's just I don't really have any of my own.
No, that's. I get it.
Like, it's not. I like setting up for Christmas. Actually, no. I actually drag my feet on setting up for Christmas. Oh my gosh, I'm a freaking Scrooge. I'm like, I put it off Christmas decorating until the day after Thanksgiving.
Dude, if it makes you feel any better, when it comes to like seeing people like, and this is like nothing against like you and Brielle, but when I like see people, you know, like walking down the street, there's like Christmas lights, you see like mistletoe, holding hands, kissing. I'm just like, oh, get a room. Screw you guys. Thanks for making me feel lonely.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's yeah, I feel like I'm a bit of a Scrooge when it comes to the holidays. Like,
honestly, dude, like working in like the grocery business, Christmas music and Christmas movies are like, I feel like the only way that I can kind of get into the Christmas spirit, because when I go back to work, literally dealing with customers just kind of brings it back down for you.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's the only thing that brings joy during the Christmas season.
I kind of have to force myself to watch Christmas movies.
Oh, that makes me sad.
Yeah, like I kind of have to be like super in the Christmas mood, and I know that I'm not very often.
And yet I'm the guy that starts listening to Christmas music November 1st.
Yeah. We are an odd duo.
We really are.
Like, we went freaking like hog wild for Christmas or for Halloween last year, where we did nothing but horror movies. This one just kind of got away with from us because we had like so many different movies that we wanted to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of hard to throw one in. I don't know if the Matrix movies can technically be considered holiday movies.
They're not. They're not.
But that's what our December is going to look like.
Hey, you know what? It works, you know, since Matrix 4 is coming out, so it works perfectly.
Yeah. And then, yeah, we're not very Christmassy. Like, we even dropped the ball. Like, we did some holiday movies last year, but we kind of dropped the ball on anything holiday related this year.
Yeah, we'll get you guys next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what's coming out on 4K this week. And, you know, honestly, after I show Caleb Christmas with the Cranks, we're going to come back here and give you guys our quick reaction, or his quick reaction. Because I'm actually very interested to hear it now, considering he hates unaccompanied minors. Oh, shit. That's funny. Oh, man. Anyway, moving on to Through the Wall. No, it's not Insomniac.
Nope.
No, they created a good They created a good superhero game.
Yeah, and they have a couple more coming out.
Well, okay, in Square Enix's defense, I've actually heard Guardians of the Galaxy is actually very fun. I've heard it's a very good solo game.
It freaking better be.
It's better be. Like, one of the biggest positive people have said, it showcases how much fun a single player, no add-ons, no like internet connection, shit like that, just single player story-driven game can be. How much fun that can be still.
Dude, you're preaching to the freaking choir. That is like the majority of games that I play are single player, not are single player story based games.
Yeah, so Guardians will be perfect for you.
It better be, dude. I don't know if I could take another Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, you and me both. Speaking of Marvel's Avengers, they have finally showcased what Spiderman is going to look like when he drops. I'm assuming sometime next year. I don't. Did they say when he's dropping next year?
No.
Of course they didn't.
Okay, hold on. When was this released? November. Okay, so he just got announced today.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so his in-game debut on November 30th.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That soon?
Yeah. He's going to be debuting on November 30th. And there'll be an in-game trailer tomorrow.
Oh, shit. Dude, I didn't think we were going to see Spidey until next year.
No, they announced it, or they said they were going to release Spidey by the end of this year, when the freaking game came out.
Well, shit, okay. Kudos to you, Square Enix, for keeping your promise.
Yeah, they've been really good about that.
That's actually perfect timing with No Way Home coming out.
Right?
Yeah, that is perfect. Yeah, damn, kudos to you, Square Enix.
Yeah, IGN is going to get the in-game trailer tomorrow.
Shocker, IGN gets it first.
Yeah, so super excited for that. I can't wait to see what his gameplay looks like.
Yeah, no, I'm very interested to see how the swinging is going to be. I'm really hoping they take at least some tips from Insomniac's web swinging.
Yeah, but I don't know how that's going to translate. Because,
it's not open world.
It's not. Yeah, that's one thing. It's not open world. Also, you can't do the triggers because the triggers are aiming and firing.
Damn it.
So, with Cap, you can aim the shield and you can toss the shield. With Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be, aiming webs or something.
Yeah.
So, who knows what web swinging is going to look like.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, so that trailer is going to give us a lot of insight. So, we'll probably be talking about it next week.
Yeah. So I told Caleb after I play a Spidey, I'll just mail him my copy so he can enjoy Spidey too.
Yeah, I don't even know where the PlayStation 4 is.
Dude, what the hell?
Well, I've been playing on my Xbox.
Traitor.
But the suit that I was afraid that they were going to freaking butcher the suit. And by butcher the suit, I mean make it all armored, kind of what they did with everyone else's costumes in this, especially Cap's. They ruined Cap's costume.
I mean, they didn't do it with both Hawkeyes or Widow.
Okay, well, really?
Well, I'm just saying. You said all these characters got. Well, okay, wait, no, Widow does get armored at the end. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so just the two Hawkeyes.
Yeah, okay, Hawkeye looks good, Kate Bishop looks good, Thor looks questionable, but cool enough. I think what really screwed Thor was the hammer. It doesn't look anything like any of the other, renditions of Mjolnir. It looks so wildly different.
Seems like it's a little too bulky, doesn't it?
Mjolnir?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's way bulky.
I don't know. I get it. Mjolnir's supposed to be big, but not that big.
Yeah, right. I all of my issues with the game, and you can hear our breakdown of it for episode 150. Costume wise, they just dropped the ball. Iron Man's face looks weird.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's too sleek.
Did you see though that they finally, and I've been so tempted to buy it, but I don't play the game enough. They actually dropped the Iron Man suit from the first Iron Man movie.
Did they really?
They did, and it looks so good.
Ooh. Tempting, but nah.
I don't know. Iron Man is one of the last characters that I don't have an MCU suit for. Because I bought the Ronin suit. I bought the Black Widow white suit. I freaking bought Cap's suit. So the only ones I don't have... I don't really want to buy Endgame's Thor. Nothing against it. Just, I don't know.
Yeah. Did they change his weapon in that?
I don't think they did. I think he still has Mjolnir.
The bulky one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have Stormbreaker. And then
I would have even accepted if they did like normal Mjolnir.
Fair. I don't really feel like getting Spandex Hulk.
No, Spandex Hulk is garbage. Yeah. But they freaking killed it with Spidey. He kind of has that. Like he kind of has the MCU lenses, which look pretty good. And then it's just classic Spidey. The spider on his chest though looks a little weird. It's almost like they would try to go with like a realistic looking spider legs.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, but I mean, it works. Like the spider logo is big and prominent, which I really like. It's just maybe the design is just a bit off, but I think the spider is so hard to do or to do something new with.
You know what? Fair enough.
Like it's that spider that freaking distinguishes the costumes in a lot of ways. Like Tobey Maguire's Spider is way different than Andrew Garfield's. Andrew Garfield's is wildly different than Tom Holland's, and all of theirs is different from the PS4. Like it's so, I feel it's so difficult to do a new Spider.
No, I absolutely agree.
So I mean, I don't hate it. It looks all right, but it looks super cool. Like his gloves too look really sick. They kind of have like, I'm assuming it's just on the fingers that he has out, like his index, pinky, and thumb are covered in like a black. I'm assuming it's black. It might be blue, just based off of shading, but it looks like it's black fabric with the red fabric going around the fingers, like around the back of the fingers.
Yeah.
So it kind of adds like a nice palm effect. But I'm digging it. I'm digging it a lot.
Yeah, no, I was telling Caleb this earlier. Me and my buddy JC were discussing this. It's kind of hard to mess up Spidey's costume, even if you hate it. It still feels like Spider-Man.
Yeah, it very much does. Sorry, I kind of got distracted with his eyes. Like, are you looking at his picture?
I had it pulled up. There it is. Do you feel they're like too prominent on the mask?
No, so I was just looking at the lenses, and the lenses, maybe it's just the lighting, but it kind of like his left eye looks weird, almost like it's round inside.
I think, like you said, it's the lighting and maybe just like the positioning of where he is in the photo.
Okay.
I think tomorrow, since he said we're getting an in-game trailer of him, we'll be able to get a full look at what it truly looks like.
Okay. Yeah, I'll give it benefit of the doubt until tomorrow. But I'm interested to see if they show off any more costumes.
Like of Spidey's or like any?
Of Spidey's.
Oh, okay.
Because they've done MCU accurate costumes for everyone, including Black Panther.
That's true.
So it'll be cool to see if they go that route, like do a Homecoming suit or a Far From Home suit. Or No Way Home.
I feel that I have a feeling they're probably gonna do No Way Home, just because Insomniac Spider-Man has already done the Homecoming and Far From Home suits, so I think that they kind of want to be a little different, and like draw people into playing this version of Spidey.
Yeah. I have a feeling though, and it maybe, but I feel like my spider sense is tingling, and I have a feeling that one of the superpowers that you get, or like one of the ultimate powers that you can use, is going to be those the freaking spider arms coming out of the back.
I don't hate that, but at the same time, that's not really Spider-Man, is it?
Yeah, like it's very suit specific.
Yeah. Like,
That's one thing.
I
That's like kind of getting into the like No Way Home. I think the Stark armor was cool with the legs and everything. They should have stopped.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, and I mean, I don't know. I think it looks a little better in the trailer than it did in Far From Home, but the suit I feel looked the greatest in Infinity War. Like the CGI on the suit looked really good in that one, but in Far From Home, oh, the CGI did not look good on that suit. Like Tom Holland's like head looked way too freaking small compared to the actual body of the Iron Spider suit.
Yeah, but I'm just not a big fan of the Iron Spider suit in general. Like, I much prefer the fabric
I
suit.
do too, and like seriously, he made the he freaking made the Far From Home suit at the end. So why isn't he using that one? He freaking made it. Okay, not made it, but like he was the one that designed it with Stark Tech.
Yeah, I hope they do better, but I'm really excited to see the trailer tomorrow for
Same here.
for Spider-Man.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, but kind of sticking with the Spider-Man.
Yeah, moving on to some more Spidey news. They released the official poster for Spider-Man No Way Home, and it's simple, but it does have some very good Easter eggs. One, it's just Spidey in kind of like a crouched pose with Doc Ock's arms all going around the whole entire scene. But if you look towards the right, all the way in the background, you can actually see Green Goblin flying on his glider.
Hell yes.
So that basically just proves that it is Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. It's not a new design. It's nothing like that. It is the Goblin that we had in the original Spider-Man movie.
Hell yeah. Costumed a little bit different though.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
Slightly different. At least
what
if if the leaked images are to be believed, he actually has like a scarf.
Oh yeah, I've seen. Isn't it purple?
Yeah, it's like a purple scarf, and then he has like a satchel and stuff now, or not a satchel, like a harness.
See, I can appreciate like those additions because it's making him more comic book accurate.
Yeah, even in its own little way.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Green Goblin suit concept in general is a little difficult to bring into live action. So I feel like Sam Raimi did the best job that he could adapting the Green Goblin for big screen.
I agree. I know, like, everyone says, oh my god, he looks like a Green Power Ranger. I don't care. I'm actually okay with that. I still love the Green Goblin suit.
Yeah, like, how else do you do that, though?
Yeah, it's hard.
Like, and I've seen the concepts.
Goblin.
Like, I've seen the concepts that they were playing with on that. Their damn, the freaking mouth. Or, what am I saying? No, like, one of the original concepts they were doing, they were going to do an animatronic face for the Green Goblin. No. And it looked so funky. I'm like, that wouldn't have worked at all. Especially with how, like, grounded Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man felt.
Yeah,
and then, and so they were playing with like a bunch of different ideas. The only thing that I feel that they could have done is maybe... Actually, that probably would have looked stupid too. I was going to say, like, just take off the mouthpiece. So it's just Willem Dafoe's mouth. But, like, you could still, like, paint it green or something. But, yeah, that would have looked dumb.
I feel... For how much the mask kind of, like, sticks out, yeah, I don't know if that would have worked.
Yeah, or maybe just make it a little bit more flush with his face then. So it wouldn't have felt, like, so bulky or... Like you said, Power Ranger-esque, but I think that would have looked dumb too. So
I mean, I'd be interested to see it in action.
Yeah, I just want to see the helmet.
Yeah, you and me both. I'm just so happy to see my two favorite Spider-Man villains of all time back on the big screen again. This makes me so freaking happy.
Right, dude? I'm gonna be pissed off if Doc Ock doesn't have a very significant role in this movie.
I thought they confirmed that he's like the main baddie of the movie.
Good. I was gonna say this if they're gonna like tease all of these other villains, like that's gonna be such bullshit. Like, Doc Ock is only gonna be in like this much of it. I'm like, eh.
I don't know, considering like how early on Alfred Molina, said that he was playing Doc Ock again, and like how much they've just been hyping up his role, I honestly would be very shocked if he wasn't a very prominent role. I'm pretty sure Tom Holland said, or I don't know where I heard it from, but yeah, he is the main villain of this movie.
Good. Freaking good. There's been a lot of shit coming from him lately. Like, just talking, like, one of the biggest things is he's talking about the relationship that he has with Doctor Strange now. And he says they don't really become enemies, but they're not really friends at the end.
Oh, shit.
And I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah. There's going to be some tension.
Seriously.
But I've heard so much freaking stuff about the second trailer. Or like really the much rumored.
What I've heard is what's keeping them from posting it. And I don't know if this is true because I literally don't believe anything.
Dude, we don't know if any of this shit is true. I'm not even 100% convinced this is the official poster.
You know what? Yeah. He's so right. But apparently the reason why there's two reasons why they're holding back the second trailer. One is Kevin Feige and Sony can't decide when they want to showcase they can't decide if they want to showcase that Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are in this movie in the trailer.
Oh my gosh, just do it already.
And the second one, which I feel is more what's the word? Not liable. More likely is the fact that, and this actually has been proven, that the Sony VFX team is on such a time crunch with this film. They're working 7 days a week just to get the special effects done to make the December 17th release that they don't have time to put the finishing touches on a second trailer. They don't have time to do that shit.
That I'm calling bullshit on.
I don't know for how much, like the
visual effects studios are the ones that put the trailers together? I thought they send their footage to like a marketing team.
Well, I mean like the actual like, no, they do, but I mean like the actual like effects in the trailer, like the special effects, like, you know, like Doc Ock's arms, like Green Goblin on his glider. Apparently they haven't been, what they want them to do with the trailer, they haven't been able to finish those special effects yet. And they're kind of just like, well, you want us to finish this movie by December 17th, but you also still want us to do these effects for the trailer. You guys kind of got to work with us here.
That's why I think a lot of the stuff we've seen in the trailer is bullshit.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because you have to think, with Infinity War, we got teased that there was going to be like an Avenger style like charging scene that we didn't get with the Hulk.
That's true.
So they had to freaking render a movie quality scene that wasn't even in the freaking movie.
Okay, if that's the case, I'm going to be pissed if Doc Ock doesn't come out of a cloud of smoke and say, "Hello, Peter."
Yeah.
I'm going to be freaking pissed if that scene's not in the movie.
Dude, it's the one thing that I don't like about Marvel with these, like, big pictures. Like, I hate the secrecy.
Yeah.
Like, what I love about... One of the biggest things I loved was with the Suicide Squad. I loved how involved I felt in that. Like, James Gunn was posting behind-the-scenes pictures, like, every other week. Like, hey, check out this person's costume. Hey, check out this person's costume. Check out this behind-the-scene clip. Like, it felt so good to, like, feel like I was a part of the process. And I still enjoyed the hell out of the movie, even though, like, it, like, satisfied me enough to not look so far into, like, what's going to happen in this movie. I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I get these little snippets from the director himself. Like, I think Marvel is just making the biggest mistake of letting everyone get so hyped up over something that may or may not be true. Like, just clue us in to some of the behind the scenes stuff.
Like, Kit Harington, who plays a Dane in Eternals.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out and said when he first signed on to be in Eternals, he was very shocked to hear, or like he was just very shocked to actually like witness firsthand how much actors are sworn to secrecy with Marvel movies compared to how it was with Warner Brothers and oh my gosh, Game of Thrones. He said it's completely different.
Yeah, apparently they have a freaking system in place where you don't even get the script until the day before.
Yeah, like, kind of going off of that, freaking with the scene in Endgame, when it's Tony Stark's funeral, they were told before they started filming, oh, it's a wedding.
Dude, it's just like, with Endgame, I get it. With Spider-Man, like, come on. This is the birth of a new phase of the MCU. Or, like, a key moment in it. Like, what could you possibly spoil?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Like, I'm going to be more pissed off about spoilers later down the line.
Yeah. I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah, but like right now, it's like, get me excited for this. I'm not, like, it's so hard to want to get excited about this because you're just like, oh, Marvel's freaking got a sniper on everyone. Like, that's gonna
no, you're
that's gonna
absolutely
even
right.
like kind of spoil it.
I mean, I don't know, like, with it's weird because with all of the Phase 4 Marvel movies, I've been like different types of hyped. Like Black Widow, I was super hyped because, Black Widow was finally getting a solo movie. I was freaking over the moon. I was so excited. Shang-Chi, I was kind of on the fence. I didn't really know what to expect. I knew nothing about the character, and I felt like they weren't giving me a lot of the story in the trailer, so I really didn't know what to expect, and I ended up loving it. The Eternals, which I'm not going to say anything yet because that's what we're reviewing this episode. I've been hyped for that since the freaking first trailer. Honestly, if I'm being honest, Eternals was my most hyped Phase 4 movie this year. But then with Spider-Man No Way Home, I feel that was just kind of like a brainer, no-brainer, that once frickin' they announced that Doc Ock was going to be in it, and especially in the trailer, you see frickin' Green Goblin's pumpkin bomb flying out of one of the portals, or not portal, I'm sorry. You see it being thrown out of a cloud of dust. I was already sold just by that moment alone. But I absolutely agree with Caleb that they're really not giving us a lot to work with. They're really still trying to keep it as secret as they can, when this really isn't like an Avengers Endgame kind of situation where it's just like, oh yeah, don't spoil literally anything because we want everything to be able to be seen in the actual film. If you spoil a couple of things, little things in Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm not going to be mad. Because for how many freaking leaks that these has been leaked for this movie, I don't even know what to freaking believe. So honestly, probably whatever you release, Marvel, I probably won't even freaking believe until I actually see the damn movie.
Yeah, that's what I hated about the marketing for Infinity War. Like, they made it seem like Hulk was going to be such a big part of the movie. He wasn't even in it.
Yeah. Yeah, what, like less than 5 minutes of screen time?
Yeah.
The rest was all banner.
Yeah, and then it's like this movie, like, it's so hard to get excited because at a certain point you're just like, okay, do I believe what I'm seeing? Because now it becomes a theory of like, oh, what are we going to see with this? What are we going to see with that? And I get it. I understand like hiding maybe end credit scenes or like big twists or plots or whatever, but for a majority of it, it's just ridiculous overkill.
Yeah. I feel bad though with Marvel with the end credit scene to Eternals, because just for the one reason that when this first premiered, when it had its premiere, they didn't even attach the end credit scene or the credits. Literally after the final shot, movie was over. No credits whatsoever because they didn't want to take any chances. But yet somehow, I think even before the movie like actually had its like worldwide premiere, the freaking end credit scene still got leaked.
Like, yeah, it's like, okay, who cares at that point? It's so early on. Like, I understand how, like, doing, like you said, with Avengers level stuff, big team up movies, like Multiverse of Madness, I have no idea what to expect for that movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the same with this. Like, I have an idea of what we can expect. Like, we can expect Doc Ock, we can expect Green Goblin, we can expect these other people, and then it's like, you're gonna like tease us with all this stuff. Just freaking release a poster with all three of them already.
Yeah, dude, like straight up.
Like, it pisses me off. It's just like, okay, like, like, we get it. Like, come on. Like, just give us the... It's aggravating. It is honestly so aggravating. Like, and it's because I feel like everyone, like, throws a big old fit about, like, oh, how secretive or how in the dark everyone is. It becomes, like, more intriguing on getting that behind the scenes info or those leaks or whatever. Like, if you have the attitude that like Warner Brothers had with James Gunn's Suicide Squad, he was just posting whatever the hell he wanted. He's just like, oh, we're filming this, we're filming that, and we didn't know what to expect with a lot of the movie still.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Spider-Man, like I somewhat get it, but at the same time I don't. I feel with the Suicide Squad, they really just wanted to try to get as much press about that film because the original was hated so much, so they wanted to showcase like, hey, we promise this one is in actual good hands. We really think you're going to like this one. Whereas with Spider-Man No Way Home, it's directed by the same director that directed Homecoming and Far From Home. You're bringing in all of these previous actors that have played these characters before. So this is already established. Everyone's like, no matter if one person never saw the trailer or the poster, if you just told them, hey, you want to see the new Spider-Man film, it has Doc Ock and Green Goblin coming back, be sold. I wouldn't need to see the poster or trailer. So I think, like, I get it with Spider-Man for why you want to keep it so secret, but, like, can you just give us... like Caleb said, I don't know what to expect from this movie. I don't know what to look forward to. Like, I need to kind of understand what the story is going to be, and they kind of did that in the first trailer. But still, I don't know what exactly the story is going to be when I see this on opening night.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's good, but it's like that. I think they're just playing so hard into everyone's just going to go see this. Like, they're banking on that so freaking hard. Whereas other movies, they need to kind of give away a lot of the plot or a lot of the story idea to sell people on the idea of the movie. And so I think Marvel's just like, oh, well, these bastards are going to see Spider-Man and just come a-running.
Are they
Which
wrong,
is absolutely true, but...
It's like, are they wrong, though?
Yeah, so, I don't know. I just like feeling involved.
No, I agree. And, like, you know, I'm sure people would say, well, you guys are just, like, you know, you're just complaining about Marvel. You just, you're too spoiled by other stuff. And no, that's not the case. We just want to actually know what we're going to be walking into. We don't want anything spoiled, but we just actually want to understand the story that is going to be told to us and not be in the complete dark with it.
Yeah, and it's just like, even if someone spoiled the entire freaking movie for me, I'm still going to go see it.
Fair. I'll admit, though, with Eternals, if someone would have spoiled, like, certain aspects about it, I would have been so freaking pissed. And we'll get to it.
Okay. Fair, but yeah, we'll get into it.
But I don't know.
Like,
I probably would
like
actually
how
feel
hard,
the same way.
like
with
how
Spider-Man.
hard would it be to keep that a secret, though? Like, if you were to just, I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything Eternals. Okay, for those of you that have seen Eternals, I'm going to try really hard not to give anything away, but you guys will know what I'm talking about. If they would have just taken, like, some still shots of the behind the scenes or whatever of everything that happened, I still would have not been able to guess what went down.
I would agree, because I can't really. How do you not spoil this?
I think if it's going to be too difficult, we just, like, not.
I'll save it for the review.
Yeah, but it's just like little things like, okay, if there's a big twist that you're wanting to keep from us, like, yeah, keep that away from us. Like, we don't want to know that.
Biggest twist, Green Goblin is Doc Ock, and Doc Ock is actually Green Goblin. Biggest twist ever.
Yeah, it's like, those big twists, yes, absolutely, keep those hidden from us. But no one's going to, like, know what that shit is from behind the scenes pictures.
Yeah.
Like, we can guess all freaking day long, but it's like, I would just strategically release information. Like, oh, people are I just pay attention to social media and be like, oh, there's a lot of buzz catching up or getting behind this plot twist. Better release something else to basically distract, like, dangle some shiny keys in front of their faces so they're like, oh, what's that?
No, that's a good point. Like, kind of going off Marvel into Ghostbusters, like, they actually released I think, like, the final trailer that actually has the original guys in it. I didn't watch it, and I don't plan to, because I don't want that to be spoiled yet for me. I want to actually see that in the movie. But for those that still aren't yet sold for this on Ghostbusters Afterlife and actually want to see the original 3, rest in peace, Harold Ramis, before, like, see the actual original 3 back together again before they see the movie and that's what sells them, that's freaking great. Kudos to them for that. Kudos to them for deciding that, that could be a push point for some people to actually go see this movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen the final trailer for Ghostbusters Afterlife?
I have, and it's not like you don't see faces or anything. Like you seriously just see someone step into screen.
Oh, okay.
Which, if spoilers are to be believed about Spider-Man Far From or No Way Home, that is exactly what happens with the second trailer.
Oh.
They do not show faces, but Doctor Strange apparently, like, it's so hard because like you don't want to spoil anything, but you don't want to you don't know what to believe. But someone posted this thing about basically describing the entirety of the second trailer. And they said at the very end of the trailer, Doctor Strange turns to Peter and says, "Hey, we're going to need some extra hands or some extra help." And then from like a dark room, 2 people walk in. And I'm like, really? That's so dumb. Just confirm it already, you assholes.
And honestly, shouldn't they be like, not like just walking out of a dark room? Shouldn't they like make it more like bigger than that? Like they like both jump out of portals? I don't know. I feel like if you are actually bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, you got to make a freaking big deal out of it, because if that is the case, that is a really big freaking deal to have 3 Spider-Men on the same freaking screen together.
Okay, but this is the way that I imagine the scene playing out if that's what they do. Like, this is my description of what it would be like in the movie.
Okay.
I would say Peter is getting his... Tom Holland is
I was
getting
going to say, which Peter? We got Peter A, B, and C.
Yeah. So, the way that I see it going in my mind, if that's the way that they do the reveal, is Tom Holland is getting his ass handed to him by all these villains. Goes to Doctor Strange for help, and he pulls this whole like, okay, yeah, we need some extra hands on deck. And then from like a back room that's like all dark, you hear footsteps, and then Tom Holland turns around, looks at the doorway, and then you see Tobey Maguire walking out from in the center of this like dark hallway, unmasked in his full Spider-Man suit, and then you see Andrew Garfield like kind of come out from behind him and off to the side a little bit. That's what I imagine that scene looking like, and I'm like, that would be dope.
Yeah, that would be pretty dope.
Like, I think it would just feel too much like Endgame, where Spider-Man comes like swinging out and like superhero pose and all that. Like, all well and good. Like, I mean, freaking nerd boner for days, but
days, freaking weeks. For Vic, it would be months.
For months.
I'm just kidding, Vic. I love you.
They need to have like a warning at the end of Marvel movies, like, if you have an erection for longer than 4 days, you're welcome. Can you say promo audio?
Straight up. That was amazing. Oh man. Anyway, you got anything else you want to say about Spider-Man No Way Home?
Nope.
Because I feel that is
that's the perfect
thing to leave on. Yep.
Yeah. No, I'm good. I'm excited.
Cool.
I'm excited to see what more They do.
If they actually give us any more, we'll see.
Yeah. This is total, like, side note, but you remember what they did with the Amazing Spider-Man 2? Like, those posters, like how there were 3 posters they released, and you could, like, put them all together to make one image?
Oh, yeah, dude, that was so badass.
That's what someone thinks that they're going to do with this poster.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, I would love to see that. I don't know if that's the route that they're going to go, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it'd be cool.
That would be super cool.
Total side note.
No, dude, that's super cool. I love it when studios do that.
Right?
Well, that's all we got with Through the Wall. So what do you say we move into our headliner, Caleb?
I say let's do it.
All right, so for this week's All Bros headliner, we'll be breaking down Marvel's newest film, Eternals, starring a shit ton of people.
Oh yeah,
that's all I'm gonna say. But before we actually get into our thoughts of the film, Caleb, would you like to share how we break down films on this podcast? Did I just say podcast? Yeah. What the hell? What is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Never saying that again.
Yeah. So if you are new to our breakdown system, we have split movies into 8 different categories that we individually score to come to a final All Bros letter grade. The 8 categories that we score are story, writing, acting, character development, effects, music, costumes, and then we give it our own personal grade at the very end. All of that magic gets added up together and gives us a percentage and a letter grade for the movie. So, if you have not seen this movie, spoiler alert ahead, like massive spoiler alert. Rose is about to spoil the entire freaking movie for you. In our favorite segment, we like to call
There's no turning back in 10 seconds. Yeah. Okay. You know what? Sam approached me at work about the whole reading with Rose and like how bad I was with Dune. And I'm just like, hey, Caleb straight up said that he couldn't do any better. So you got to
those names were hard. Those names were super hard. I mean, not like the names, because like we had what freaking Johnny Idaho or something, like Duncan Idaho and Paul, but like all the last names and the planet names were freaking difficult.
Yeah, but yet I can easily pronounce the Eternals' names.
I mean, they're not that difficult to name.
They're not. But alright. So, in 5000 BC, 10 superpowered Eternals, Ajax, Cersei, Icarus, Kingo, Sprite, Phastos, Makari, Druid, Gilgamesh, and Athena, are sent by the celestial Arishem to Earth to exterminate the invasive deviants. Over the millennia, they protect humanity from the deviants, but are not allowed to interfere in human affairs. They kill the last of the deviants in 1521, and the group's opinions differ about their continued responsibilities and their relationship with humankind. Over the next 500 years, they mostly live apart from each other, awaiting Arishem's return. In the present day, Cersei and Sprite live together in London. After Cersei was left by her partner Icarus over 500 years earlier, she now has a relationship with human Dane Whitman, who works at the that's the word that I screw up, who works at the Natural History Museum. The trio is attacked by the deviant Crow, with Icarus arriving and chasing the creature away. Realizing the deviants have returned, they prepare to reunite with the remaining Eternals. They travel to South Dakota only to find that Ajax, their leader, had been killed by Crow, gaining her healing abilities as a result. Cersei is posthumously, God, that's a hard word, chosen by Ajax as her successor, granting her the ability to communicate with Arishem, who reveals that the mission of the Eternals was not to fight the Deviants, but to prepare Earth for the emergence. Arishem explains that for millions of years, the Celestials have been planting their seeds on populated planets for new Celestials to be born, with the Deviants sent by them to destroy the apex predators of each planet to ensure the development of life. However, when the Deviants evolved and began hunting the planet's native populations, the Celestials created the Eternals to cull them. With the reversal of the blip, Earth has reached the necessary population for the birth of the Celestial Tiamat, which will result in the Earth's destruction. Having learned to love humanity, the Eternals reassemble and decide to prevent the emergence. They reconvene with Kingo, Athena, and Gilgamesh before heading to Druid's residence in the Amazon rainforest, where they are attacked by Crow and Deviants. Crow kills and feeds on Gilgamesh, gaining a fully humanoid form and the ability to speak before fleeing. After creating Gilgamesh, they visit Phastos, who proposes for Druid to put Tiamat to sleep using his mind control powers, amplified by the Unimind, a connection between all the Eternals. Icarus reveals he was informed of the emergence by Ajax centuries before and fettered to the Deviants 6 days prior to prevent her from stopping it. He flees along with Sprite, who is in love with Icarus, but feels he'll never love her due to her internal childlike form. Kingo also leaves the group, as he does not wish to face Arishem, Icarus, or Sprite. After Makari locates the place of the emergence, the foot of an active volcano in the Indian Ocean, the Eternals battle Icarus and Sprite before being attacked by Crow, who is killed by Athena. Druid knocks out Sprite after she attempts to kill Cersei, and the remaining Eternals work together to subdue Icarus while Phastos activates the Unimind. Icarus breaks free of his restraints and approaches Cersei to kill her, but finds himself unable due to his love for her. Cersei uses her matter transmutation abilities to turn Tiamat to marble. Guilt-ridden, Icarus flies into the sun. Cersei then uses the remainder of the energy from the Unimind to turn Sprite into a human, ending her immortality. Athena, Druid, and Makari depart on their spaceship, the Domo, to find other Eternals, while Cersei, Phastos, Kingo, and Sprite remain on Earth. Dane professes his love for Cersei and is about to reveal a secret about his family history when she, along with Phastos and Kingo, are remotely dragged into space by Arishem in full view of all of the people of Earth. Arishem states that he is displeased with their treason, but elects to spare humanity if the Eternals' memories show that humans are worthy of living. He vows to return for judgment before disappearing into a singularity, taking them with him. In a mid-credit scene, Athena, Makari, and Druid are visited by the Eternal Eros. Is that how you say his name? Eros?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Thanos' brother and his assistant Pip the Troll, who offer their help. In a post-credit scene, Dane opens an old chest inherited from his ancestors that contains the legendary ebony blade when an unseen person questions him whether he is ready for it.
Hell yeah.
So, I know I did this with the Suicide Squad, but why is it every single time I have a favorite fucking character, they have to die? It's every single time. Every time. First it was Captain Boomerang, but you know what? I'll give this to Gilgamesh. He made it longer than the first freaking 10 minutes, but
that is
still.
very true.
what the hell? Like, I don't get it. Are my characters really that badly chosen?
Apparently.
Because I thought Don Lee did an amazing job as Gilgamesh.
Dude, he did an amazing job.
But apparently it wasn't good enough. Because,
Apparently not.
Like, we'll get to this with the acting, but I just want to bring up one more thing. I was not expecting freaking Salma Hayek's Ajax to just freaking bite the dust that fast.
Yep. But
that was a huge shocker for me.
Oh yeah. Dude, this was a freaking amazing. Like, I was expecting something like I was expecting garbage, to be honest. Like, I went into it expecting garbage. I'm like, okay, like, I had my hopes. I'm like, okay, I really, really hope this is good. But I went in expecting garbage, and this was an incredible movie.
It was. Like, I think the best way to explain why this movie is getting so much crap, even though the audience score, as far as the last I checked it on Rotten Tomatoes, it's at an 80%, whereas the actual critic score is at a 47%. Screw you guys. But what I've been told is this movie is very different from any other Marvel movie that we've got in the fact that it goes against the Marvel movie formula. It is nothing like how Shang-Chi is portrayed. That is Marvel movie formula to a T, and it works very well for it. And I think that's why so many people...
with Shang-Chi, though, they were able to make it different enough, and with such an interesting character that we don't know anything about. Like, I think it was super easy with, like, Iron Man and Captain America to tell us a story in that formulaic way, but we all kind of knew how the movie was going to end.
No, that's very true. And, like, honestly, I absolutely agree with you. Whereas with I almost called it the Eternals. It's just Eternals. You're basically it's not like the Avengers where it's a team that's hasn't been assembled yet and they're working through assembling them through a bunch of movies. This is a team that was assembled at first, but then was told to disassemble, and now they have to assemble again.
Yeah, and I think that worked out really well, like, because they were all together, and then, like, had this already, like, familial bond between them.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they separated, it was like, there was, like, some heartbreak to it. And then like, I loved that shit. Yeah, so it was really good. And I think another big issue that people were, like, or not issues, a fit people were throwing over this movie was, a lot of these characters get sidelined. And I'm like, yeah, but they have to.
Yeah, you got freaking 10 main Eternals that you have to give. You have to spread 2 hours and 30 minutes to. Not all of them are going to get the exact same screen time.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you
it's
have
literally the same as it is how it is in the Avengers films.
Yeah. Dude, when they were going in and trying to, like, get everyone, like, get the gang back together, and I forget at which point, like, who was all there. Oh, it was, like, right after they got Druid. And I'm just like, all right, like, that seems like everyone. And they're like, all right, let's go get the others. And I'm like, the others? And I'm like, oh, yeah, there's, like, a bunch of them.
Wasn't it just... Well, wait, after that, wasn't it just Makari?
After Druid, it was Makari and Fastus.
Okay, that's who was left.
Yeah, like, they had everyone else, so I was just like, what the hell?
I honestly was very sad that they didn't get to have a full family reunion.
Yeah, but
you can definitely tell
it
that they
added
really
stakes
do love each other.
I think it really added stakes.
It really did. I mean, because you can definitely tell that they did love each other up until they, freaking Druid was just like, yeah, I'm starting to... Well, I mean, I don't know if all of them were starting to question Ajax, but Druid was the one that, like, really came up and said, with like, because they're in this scene before they split off, basically Ajax is telling Athena, hey, because you're having these, oh gosh, what were they called? Mind something?
Oh, I have no idea.
It was like something that it would mess with her mind, that like she would basically turn into like not like a zombie, but basically she would turn against everybody and basically just try to kill them, and she almost does, especially Makari. She really almost kills Makari in this scene. But basically Ajax is just like, hey, we need to wipe your memory, and basically you'll be reborn again. And freaking Druid is just like, okay, wait a minute, you're asking her to basically just do away with all that she knows and just start fresh. Don't you think that she deserves a say in that?
Yeah. Like, I thought that was so good.
It really was. And you know what's funny is I actually thought I was going to hate the character of Druid. He actually became one of my favorites.
Dude, me too.
I really thought I was going to hate him.
Like, we'll get into this, but his costume was sick.
It was. I don't know how he walked in it, though, because that shit went down to his shoes.
Yeah, straight up. Yeah. I just loved, like, everything that they did. Like, all of the main focus of the story was Cersei, and I feel Icarus to a point.
Yeah. It's
like,
those were those two.
Yeah, that was the main focus, with, like, a very side focus on Sprite, Athena, and I'd say, well, actually just Sprite, Athena, and Gilgamesh. Like, I think they were, like, very much, like, sidelined. And then there was, like, that sea story where it was, like, all the other ones. Kingo, Fastus, Makari, I already said Makari.
Druid?
Yeah, and Druid. Like, and I loved that. Like, I love multiple layers of storytelling, especially when it comes to big casts like this.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree.
And so the way that they were able to pull that off and make the story, or the overall story, like, not feel so convoluted, like, was really, really nice. Like, I loved how Cersei was just able to build that confidence within herself to basically turn a celestial into marble.
That was so freaking cool.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm going to be freaking just pining over this movie in effects.
Dude, same.
Like, I am a sucker for a lot of the effects that they did in this movie. Where, like, the giant ones. Like, I don't know what it is. I love giant things. Like, one of my favorite things is God of War, when they discover the world serpent, it's like this big ass freaking snake that comes up, and he's like wrapped around the mountains, and he's like becomes super tall, and like he becomes almost like out of view of the world, and I'm like, oh, that's freaking great. And so they did that so much with this one, especially when they went to go visit Arishem. Like, anytime they went to talk to him. Arsham?
Well, okay, actually, it might be the way that they're saying it with the accent. So it actually probably is Arishem.
Yeah, like,
sorry.
The way that... And, no, you're fine. Like, when they went to go talk to that celestial, I think it was just not being able to see his full body was terrifying. And I'm like, this is freaking great. And then, at the very end, when he comes to Earth, and he was like a shit ton far away from Earth.
Yeah.
I was like, holy, like, this is, oh my gosh. If they do something even half as cool as that for Galactus, when they eventually get to him, I'm going to shit my pants, because that's going to be so cool.
Oh, shit.
like I love stuff like that. I absolutely love stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, like I said, I'll get into that with effects, but yeah, they're like Cersei's and Icarus's story, where it was just kind of like more or less a love triangle.
It didn't feel as much as of a love triangle as I thought it was. Like,
yeah, it's
Kit
just because
Harington
Dane wasn't in it.
Kit Harington wasn't in this movie as much as I thought he was going to be.
Yeah, I think that they could have pulled it a little bit better had he suited up with the Eternals.
That'd been super dope.
Yeah, like just make him feel a little bit bigger. Like he kind of felt like a joke.
A little bit.
Like not
he
not
has one of
so much that it was distracting to the movie, but anytime that they like interacted with him, or like Cersei got calls from him a couple times and like would hang up, I'm like, oh yeah, he's here.
Yeah, because speaking of that, like when they're in the camps, Cersei, when she's losing connection, she's just like, Dane, you're breaking up, and Icarus just comes in, he's like, oh, you guys broke up? I'm like, so
Icarus
funny.
was kind of a douche.
He was, but freaking, I forget who plays him. Did an incredible...
Richard Madden.
Yeah, God, he plays Dick very well.
Dude, he did an... we'll get into it with acting.
With acting. What was I going to say?
Dude, I loved how everyone seemed to like throw a big old fit against Fastus. And his marriage. I mean, I don't know if they were married. I'm assuming so.
I think they were, because he does say husband.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So yeah, his how he has a husband, and apparently like there's a bunch of people throwing a fit over that. And I'm like, that was also just such a small part of the movie. Like,
I mean,
chill.
Yeah, and you know what? I appreciate that scene so much, that we get LGBTQ representation in a Marvel movie. That's freaking great. It's very sad that it's getting banned in some countries because of it.
That's such bullshit.
But I not trying to get into that kind of thing, but I do hope this is a step forward into getting more of this kind of situations. But for storylines, whatever. But getting into the rest of the story. What else should we what else to touch upon? How did you feel like the Deviants were like an actual like good main villain of the film?
That's an interesting one, because we were played just as much as the Eternals were, thinking that the Deviants were the problem.
Yeah, I was not expecting the whole freaking them finding out that basically freaking
that the Deviants and the Eternals are basically made from the same cloth.
Yeah, that who was it? Was it Kingo that said, so we're basically did he say robots?
Yeah.
Did
that was freaking terrifying.
Yeah, that freaking that visualization, and that's going into effects too. Like in a good way, I could have done with that because that was very creepy. I got freaking iRobot kind of vibes from that show.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I loved like everything that they were able to bring into this. Like they brought in a lot of heart too with this, especially when it came to Kingo and what was his name, Karun. Oh my gosh, I love Karun.
Oh my god.
Like so Karun is kind of is Kingo's assistant more or less. It just kind of like helps him do different things, and it was so funny watching them interact. And he's just like, he's kind of in servitude of me because he tried stabbing, or he thought I was a vampire and tried stabbing me in the heart with a wooden spike. And Groot's just like, I apologized for that. And he's like, yeah, but not enough.
Dude, the fact that when they're on the plane and Sprite is just like, so how were you able to hide that you don't age within these like 100 years? He's just like, oh, well, I am like part of like the greatest freaking generation in Bollywood history. That's my great granddad. That's my great granddad. That's my dad, and then that's me.
Yeah, you never really
just
think
little
of like
disguises.
those issues.
Yeah, just little disguises was able to because it didn't really look like he gave that much effort into those disguises.
Yeah.
But I guess that goes a long way.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah, I think they did such a good job with this story. Like, it was so intriguing. Like, it was like, to tell you guys just how good it was, like, remembering that we actually graded this thing, we gave the story a 93.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, it was I think there were definitely times where I think it could have been paced a bit better.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, I thought that with it being the second longest Marvel movie, that I felt like it was going to drag in some parts. To me, it never dragged, actually.
Yeah, it was like very action packed, and then even the stuff that wasn't too action driven, did a really good job at like keeping your attention, like throwing in humor and stuff, and so it like made you want to pay attention.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I feel that this like a lot of the action it feels is at the beginning and more so towards the end. There isn't a lot of action in the middle, kind of.
Yeah,
I mean there is, but you know at the same time there isn't. But at least for me, because you get so connected with these characters, like right off the bat, you really want to see where all 10 Eternals evolve. When it comes to like the slow parts, the intimate parts, just these characters talking to each other, like honestly, for how much I loved these characters, I could have taken a whole movie just with that. Because I think that, God, who's the director of this movie?
Isn't it like Chloe Zhao?
Yeah, Chloe Zhao. I think she did a great job establishing all 10 of these Eternals. And like I said, I could have seen a movie just with them just talking to each other. I actually would have been down for that because I really loved all of these characters that much.
Yeah, same here. Like they were so freaking good. Even though they had a storyline that I feel ultimately kind of went nowhere with the Deviants. Like
that's fair.
It technically went nowhere, but it also wasn't the main focus of it. Like it was kind of the red herring. The Deviants were the red herring. Like, yeah. We thought that the Deviants were the problem, but as it turns out, it's the Celestial. It was Arishem. That was the problem. Yeah. And the Deviants were just kind of a byproduct of the Celestials' tomfoolery.
How did you feel about Icarus being the one that wanted to stop the emergence?
Oh my gosh, dude. Could you say greatest reveal?
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
There's a lot where I'm like, okay, something shady about this dude. Like, something super shady.
I never felt that.
Not even a little bit. I was just like, oh, this dude's basically just cut and dry, does whatever the leader says, so... Like, sure, he's going to do whatever Cersei wants him to. And then once it was revealed that he killed Ajax, I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But I feel also, I feel like it was something that was like, I didn't like think about when the movie was going on until it got to the scene in the trailer where Ajax was like, the emergence is coming, we have 6 days, or we have like 7 days.
Yeah.
And so when it cut to and it's like 6 days ago, I'm like, wait, does that mean he knew?
Yeah.
And then that's when I like a friggin'
yeah, no, because I was like the same way when it started like getting kind of towards the middle of the movie. I'm like, wait, in the movie, Ajax is talking to Icarus about like, you know, the whole thing and the not the resurgence, the and I just said the damn
emergence.
Emergence, thank you. But yet she's already dead. So was that just like a freaking lie in the trailer? Did they pull?
That's what I thought too. That is exactly what I thought. I'm like, great, we got. Yeah, I'm like, great. Like that's like something that pisses me off about like getting back into it. That pisses me off about Marvel. I'm like, I saw that scene. I'm like, okay, I guess we're just going to completely ignore Ajax warning Icarus about the emergence. Yeah. Like whatever the hell that is. And then once they like that scene started coming in, I'm like,
oh shit.
Like, oh my gosh. Like, dude, and I had like the best intentions. I'm like, okay, no way. Like, Icarus would have like maybe he forgot. Like, she has the ability to wipe minds, like, or has like some like access to that ability in some way. Like, maybe she just wiped his mind. Like, maybe he did this, maybe he did that, and like maybe she swore him to secrecy. And no, like, I'm like, like,
honestly, I feel he freaking did it in such a gruesome way, just freaking like pushing her off the cliff.
Oh my gosh, right?
I mean, she landed on her feet, but then, you know, she's the Deviant's killer.
Yeah. Dude, one thing that threw me off like no man's business, in the credits, I thought Bill Skarsgård was Eros. I didn't realize he was the Deviant.
I didn't realize. I kept wondering who Bill Skarsgård played. Okay.
Yeah, so he played Crow, who was the Deviant, like the head Deviant.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm kind of disappointed. Yeah, Harry Styles played Eros.
I mean, I'm actually okay with that because I feel Styles has shown his acting chops with Dunkirk.
Oh shit, he was in Dunkirk, huh?
Yeah.
Damn, is he a better actor than I thought he was?
I think he might be. From what I remember, he was very good in that movie.
Shit, I think you're right. Alright, I mean, that's easier to forgive then. But I honestly thought it was Bill Skarsgård.
Well, wait, like actually like on screen?
Yeah, I thought it was Bill that was Eros.
Yeah, I could definitely tell that was Harry Styles.
I couldn't. It's also like
fair.
Harry Styles is just such like a background character in my mind.
No, that's fair. What? You don't like One Direction? You didn't listen to stuff like it was gospel music?
Hell no, man. I had better shit to do with my time.
Okay, so I do have a question. When it came to like the actual like character relationships, because I feel this works in with the story. With let's say Cersei and Icarus, how'd you feel about those two?
I think Icarus was a little on the clingy side, but overall, I actually really liked the relationship. Like, Cersei was just... I think Icarus kind of had a god complex, and Cersei grounded him.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And, like, that was, like, really nice to see. So, I mean... I thought it was a really good relationship, and I think all of the relationships were really good. Like I don't really know how I felt about, well, I couldn't get a good grasp of what kind of relationship Gilgamesh and Athena had. Whether that was like a romantic relationship or whether it was like sibling protection.
I don't know, actually. I don't, because towards the end of the movie, when Athena's talking to Cersei, she says, Gilgamesh always told me, when you love something, you protect it no matter what. That's the one.
Right, but that doesn't always necessarily equal romantic love.
No, I agree. And so, like, yeah, I just don't know if he actually had, like romantic feelings for her, or if he saw her more as just a sister. I don't know. Like, I honestly wanted them to explore that relationship more. As I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm freaking pissed that they killed off Gilgamesh.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable why they didn't explore that more. It's because it was very Cersei Icarus based, which makes sense because Athena and Gilgamesh weren't the ones that were going to ultimately stop the emergence from happening.
No, that's very true.
Like I think it had to focus on Cersei and Icarus because Cersei was absolutely the protagonist and Icarus was like the secret antagonist. And so you have to focus on those two, like, first and foremost.
Yeah.
But I think that they did make a very good B story.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. One more relationship that I just want to talk about. How did you feel about the? Because you could definitely tell that there was something going on between those two, Druid and Makari.
I actually really liked their relationship.
I did too.
I think it was just like both of them just kind of had like a cockiness about them, and that just I wouldn't even say it was like a real relationship. It was more like a flirtationship.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I loved every second of it. Like those two, the actors had like amazing chemistry between the two of them.
They did. It was amazing, actually.
Yeah. But I loved it. I loved it so much. Speaking of Makari, real quick. So she was played by Lauren Ridloff, who is deaf. So all of her sign language was like her sign language.
I think that was so freaking cool.
Yeah. Apparently, the interest, because of this movie, the interest of people wanting to learn American Sign Language has gone up by 250%.
That makes me very happy.
Right?
Because hell yeah.
Like, that is so cool. Like, it just shows how important representation is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like, and being the first deaf hero. I know that your salty ass is going to want to say Hawkeye's the first deaf hero, but he has a hearing aid.
I wasn't even going to bring that up, actually, so kiss my ass.
You had a look about your face. I'm like, that asshole is going to be like, well, Hawkeye's deaf.
I wasn't even going to bring it up, asshole. Shut the hell up. I almost said shut the F up.
Okay, I was wrong.
It's like I've already
take that.
said the F word once on this podcast. Might as well say it a second time. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, but yeah, I thought all of the relationships that they did, and the one that felt like really funky was Sprite's like kind of admiration of Icarus. It kind of felt like older brother, but then the way that who was it? Kingo explained the relation, like it was Peter Pan. Like I
actually
loved
liked that. Yeah, I did too. Because, yeah, I never thought of explaining it that way. I'm like, damn, that's a really good way to explain it.
Yeah. And, like, Kingo was just an amazing character. Like, and it was just, like, the simple things. Like, I loved how, like, with Kingo and Sprite, the conversation that they were having, it just, like, really stood out. Like, oh, why he got into movies. And he's like, it's because I missed hearing your stories. And talking about, like, how he would just sit there and admire, like, all, like, everything that you would do and your storytelling. And I love that they brought it up, but they showed it before they even brought it up. When they were in, like, what was it, Babylon?
I think so.
Yeah, and they're talking about, and she's doing, like, some crazy
it was the
illusion
story of,
magic.
It was the story of Gilgamesh and someone else. It wasn't one of the other Eternals, but I forget who else it was.
Yeah, but just, like, the way that Kingo was just sitting there, like, almost in awe. Yeah. Like, just as much as everyone else in the audience was. Like, it was amazing.
I do love the part in that scene where freaking Gilgamesh actually goes down to sit next to him, and Kingo's just like, there's literally freaking dozens of seats open, and you have to sit right next to me.
Yeah. One thing I also appreciated that kind of I felt helped with the story a little bit was, like, I know that the Eternals were trying to, like, at least Cersei was trying to keep her powers a secret. Mm-hmm. None of the other Eternals even, like, tried to hide their abilities.
Yeah.
And I loved that. Like, it's just, I loved it because it's just kind of like, okay, what, like, if someone finds out you're a superhero, what happens? You get captured, someone, like, dissects you. You're not going to do that to an Eternal. They'll freaking kick your ass.
Yeah, it's true.
And, like, I just love that they didn't feel the need to hide. Like, even, like, Icarus, he didn't need to hide, and that he heard he was on the news, and it wasn't like some, oh no, like, situation. He's just like, whatever.
No, the fact that, like, yeah, the kid's, like, freaking out, like, oh my god, yeah, you know, like, you were shooting laser beams and you were wearing a cape. The only thing that he says is, I don't wear a cape.
Yeah. Like,
his only response. I love
so good. Like, I love that. I love that they didn't try to throw in this other plot device. Like, they had so much to deal with already. Don't throw in the plot device that they're trying to hide their abilities or not interact. Like, and I thought that what they were going to do was, like, oh, we can't interfere with humans and, like, all their stuff. I loved how they just kind of let everything happen around them. Like, when they were talking about it in Mesopotamia, and they were like the Spanish Inquisition, and they were just like, seriously just, like, off in a field, or, like, off in the trees somewhere, like, watching this happen.
Yeah.
And no one was bothering them.
Nope.
And, like, just saying, oh, we can't interfere with this, we can't interfere with that. And, like, it's just, I love that not interfering doesn't mean not helping, or not, like, in times of peace, like Fastest developing new technology for them. And just all of this other stuff. Like, I really love that. And I think they did also such a good job at explaining everyone's motivations behind leaving the Eternals, or leaving the group. Like, Fastest, he was with Ajax for a majority of his life, until his technology, or he helped humans develop nuclear technology and bomb Hiroshima. And then, like, just his heartbreak through that, and he's just like, I'm freaking done with these people.
Yeah.
Like, it
like,
makes,
you know what, I don't blame you, man.
Yeah, right? And I'm like, straight up. But I think everything just flowed so freaking well. So 93 is, like, an exceptional score for story. Getting into writing, it was a little bit lower, sitting at a 90.5.
Okay.
I think I've said it a million times. I'm not the biggest fan of wasted dialogue, and I feel there was a few lines here and there that could have been considered that, but for the most part, they did a really good job at keeping it the script crisp.
What are some examples of wasted dialogue you felt?
Honestly, a lot of shit with Sprite.
Not for blood with Sprite. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I think my biggest issues were Sprite and probably Crow, the deviant.
Yeah. Okay, okay, so I want to bring this up really quickly with the whole Crow thing, like towards the end when he's trying to like get Athena to like basically come to him and so he can just like kill her and absorb her power. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would assume the part where he's just like, "Hey Athena, it's me, Gilgamesh. Remember he keeps saying remember, but it's not even like it's not him trying to intimidate what's the word? Intimidate? What's the word? When you're actually able to do someone else's voice.
Oh, imitate.
Imitate. He's not even trying to imitate Gilgamesh's voice. He's
I
just
know, that threw me off too. I'm like, what the shit?
You should have the ability to imitate like especially considering you absorbed Gilgamesh's powers. You should be able to at least do his voice. Like, come on.
Yeah, you would think, right?
So the fact that like Athena fell for that shit, at least for a minute, I'm just like, it's not even freaking Gilgamesh's voice.
I know. I think it might have just been the sayings. But it was still
fair.
like really funky. And if you want to talk about funky, the way that he was like tying her up, I'm like, this is getting a little on the kinky side.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Like, you know what? I get it. Some people have a thing for Angelina Jolie, but not in a Marvel movie, please.
Yeah. I think that it could have really helped if they used Gilgamesh's voice. But
yeah, and would have made it that was creepy.
I think sometimes Crow went on a little too long with his rants.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that.
I did appreciate that they were able to just kind of wrap up his life really quick.
Yeah.
And cleanly, and they just like, all right, done. Like, like we don't need this story arc anymore. Like I loved that. Like, it was just kind of like as soon as they were done with it, they ended. And it did feel very abrupt, but I'm like, I mean, we're gonna move on to some more important things.
Yeah. Speaking of, going along with writing, and I feel this kind of goes with acting too. The whole scene where, oh my gosh, Sprite, oh my god, I'm forgetting these names. Sprite, Icarus, Kingo, what's his assistant's name?
Karun,
and Cersei all show up to Gilgamesh and Athena's house. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm being biased here, just because, Gilgamesh was my favorite character in this movie. But freaking every line that is written for Gilgamesh in that scene is just freaking comedy gold.
Yep.
Just
absolutely.
From the freaking line about Karun being like Alfred to freaking Sprite changing him to freaking Big Baby. Could you tell that was CGI?
A little bit.
Okay. But yeah, that like the writing for all of the characters in that scene was great. But I feel Gilgamesh's writing really stood out for me, especially the freaking his beer being like freaking the corn that he freaking shucked himself with his own teeth and like
and fermented in spit. So gross.
Freaking Kingo keeps drinking it. It's like, freaking Gil, can you just freaking dump all this out?
Oh my gosh. I think for the most part they did really well at avoiding unnecessary lines or like redundancies or just different things here and there. Like I think they did a really good job at avoiding all of that. Like I said, the biggest slip-ups I felt were with Sprite and who else did I say?
I thought mine actually just been Sprite.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe there was a little bit of wasted dialogue with Dane.
That's fair. I feel that since they were able to get Kit Harington, they wanted to try to squeeze as much dialogue out of him as they could.
Yeah, they kind of led us on to believe that he was going to be a bigger part of the movie than he was going to. They
really did.
Like at the beginning, I'm just like, oh, he's like in the beginning of this. Like, all right, I'm down.
Yeah, because he's a great actor.
Yeah,
but nope.
Well, luckily, and I hope we get to see more of him down the line. For sure, I have a feeling we're going to see him in Blade.
Yeah, that's going to be freaking awesome.
That's going to be super sick.
That.
One thing though, and I think this might have been, I'll say this is a writing issue. What do you remember when they were back on their ship and like to get Makari, and someone was holding up a sword? Didn't Sprite ask if that was the ebony blade?
I think so. And then doesn't Athena say no? It's the sword of Excalibur.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I would have sworn. I'm like, oh, I would have sworn someone said it was the ebony blade. So when the ebony blade, like, actually it was like at the end with Dane, I'm like, wait.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get that? Did like Cersei drop it off for him? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't give him a cursed blade.
I mean, at least we hope not.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, that was another writing issue. Not a big one. So that was just my misunderstanding. But again, writing is above average, sitting at a 90.5. Moving on over to acting, we're sitting at a 92.5.
Hell yeah. Okay, so yeah, we got to touch upon some of these stars here.
Yeah, so I have IMDb pulled up.
Okay, cool.
So, Cersei was played by Gemma Chan. Icarus, played by Richard Madden. Athena, played by Angelina Jolie. Ajax, played by Salma Hayek. Dane Whitman, who was played by Kit Harington. Kingo, who was played by Kumail Nanjiani. Sprite, played by Leah McHugh. Festus, played by Brian Tyree Henry. Makari, played by Lauren Ridloff. Druid, played by Barry Keoghan. Gilgamesh, played by Don Lee. Crow was played by Bill Skarsgård. And then Arishem was voiced by David Kaye. Like, those are the main people.
Yeah.
Did I miss anyone?
No, I don't think you did.
Okay. Obviously, we know that you have a hard-on for Gilgamesh.
do not have a hard on. I just think that the guy's a really good actor, and his character deserved a little better.
Who else? Anyone else stand out to you?
I feel the one that really stood out to me just because I walked in this movie thinking that I was gonna hate his character, Barry Keoghan, however the hell you say his last name.
Yeah, no freaking clue.
Yeah. He was fantastic as Druid. He says his lines in kind of like, not like a monotone kind of way, but I don't know. How would you explain how he delivers his lines?
That's interesting. Kind of in a stuck-up way.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Anything that he says just kind of feels like he's kind of saying like, "Oh, I know better than you,"
which I mean, that's definitely how the character of Druid is. So to that, he played it very well.
Oh yeah. I think he did a really good job at portraying even like the emotional, or like not the emotional, the flirtationship that he had with with Makari.
He really
like
did.
He went from like that like I'm better than you attitude to like a very just like wink wink.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I think he did a really good job.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm trying to. I'm super biased because I love him so much, but Kumail Nanjiani as Kingo was the standout for me.
See, that's okay. So apparently, I have a hard on for Don Lee, and you have a hard on for Kumail Nanjiani.
Well, it's just I don't know. I'm a sucker for comedic performances, and I think everyone did like a really good job. Like honestly, Kumail Nanjiani and Brian Tyree Henry, who played Fastus, like those were my two highlights of other than like the main cast. Like I think Gemma Chan and Richard Madden did really good at their more serious performances.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie, she
felt a little wasted.
A little bit, but in the best possible way.
Fair.
It almost felt like she wasn't Angelina Jolie. Because Angelina Jolie is a title actress. Like,
yeah,
an A class. And in this, it didn't quite feel that way. And I think it worked.
It did. Honestly, if I had to say like anyone was like really wasted, because like Don Lee does get a lot to do for what he is given. Considering this is actually his first American film.
Is it really?
Yeah, and honestly, his English has come a long way. Amazing job. But I feel like the one that was wasted so much, because what she actually does in this movie is great, is Salma Hayek. I loved what she was in this movie. Like, I loved the scenes that she's in. Like, actually, I'm so used to her being in like comedies like with Adam Sandler and shit like that, so I'm not used to her being in like these kind of serious roles and like really showing off her acting chops. And I freaking love it. She's really good at this kind of stuff. And I really wish that she would have gotten more to do as Ajax.
Yeah. Again, that's another thing. I'm not too upset about that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's just... Marvel movies, to me, are the introduction to new actors and actresses. Or up-and-coming. And so, with the Eternals, I think that you had to kind of get into the higher class of actor.
Yeah.
Or people just higher up on the class scale. Because with that, like, I think they were the selling point for the Eternals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, oh, come see Eternals, Angelina Jolie's in it, and Salma Hayek, and then it's just like, ooh. and then they focus more on like the up and comers like Gemma Chan and Richard Madden.
Yeah. Rightfully so. I mean, they are very good actors.
Yeah, I mean they're no slouches. Like
no,
but they're just not on the same level as Angelina and Salma.
Yeah.
So, but I think they did an incredible job. Like hats off to the casting people. Like, you guys freaking killed it.
So I know you're not the biggest fan of some of her. Okay, I gotta know, how did you actually feel about the actress that played Sprite?
I mean, I didn't hate her. Like,
okay.
She was good. I think it was just the way her character was written.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm not sure if I know her from anything else. I liked her
character a little more than you.
Yeah, like, she was good. She was, like, definitely good. She just wasn't, like, top 3 for me.
Okay, if you had to choose your top 3, who would it be?
I was just looking at her IMDb real quick. She didn't start acting till like 2016, and I haven't seen a single thing. This is like her big role. So that's kind of cool.
That is actually very cool. Kudos to her for getting in a Marvel movie at so young.
Yeah, right? All right, my number 1, I have to give... they were all so good. I'm like looking down this list and I'm just like, shit, like they were really good too. My number 1 I'm going to give to Cersei. I think she did a really phenomenal job at playing someone that was relatable in a way.
No, yeah, that's fair.
Like someone who was like always late. Like she has these human flaws about her, and I love that.
Dude, the part where she freaking says, "I know I'm late, Charlie," and it cuts to it's Charles Darwin, right? His statue. Yep. That was amazing. I'm like, that's fantastic.
I get it, because you live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm definitely giving it to Cersei, number 1. Number 2, have to give it to Kingo. I love the hell out of Kingo. I'd have to give it to Icarus after that. Like, Icarus, like, I liked him. He was, like, just kind of a, like, jockey douchey.
Yeah.
Enough, and then once he went bad, I'm just like, oh, you became 1,000 times more interesting.
Yeah, he plays, like, the evil Superman part very well.
But that's just it. He doesn't think what he's doing is evil. And in a way, like, because Kingo wasn't necessarily against Icarus either. He's just like, listen, like, yes, it sucks that this planet is going to get destroyed, but it's giving birth to a celestial who will give birth to, like, millions of other planets just like this one. And
the only difference between Icarus and Kingo is Kingo didn't want to fight any of his family, so that's why he kind of just left.
Yeah, and it's so cool, like, how I think you can take the dynamics with these people in their relationship to Arishem.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Almost like you can, like, bring it down to, like, a mortal equivalency of, like, religion.
That's a good point.
Like, Icarus was just so... He was like a blind follower. Like, he didn't care what Arishem said, what told him what to do. He did it without question.
Yep.
And then Kingo had the relationship where it's like, I don't necessarily agree with what Arishem is asking, but it is ultimately for the greater good. Or it the sacrifice serves a greater purpose than we can imagine. It will give birth to millions of other planets, millions of other people, and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it's like you can understand that too, like that. Like, okay, I don't necessarily agree with what God's asking in certain instances, but it's for the greater good, and like you know people like that. Like I feel in some instances I'm people like that.
I can agree with that. I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah, and then the only other one I think, just kind of like opposite of Kingo, because I think that like the complete opposite of Icarus, where it was like totally devout, was Cersei.
Yes,
where she's
absolutely.
like, as soon as she realized what the Celestials were planning, she's like, nah, like I'm not having it. And then Kingo was like, okay, I found it out, and I don't like it, but I'm okay with it. Like, because it serves a greater purpose. I think the complete opposite of him was Fastus, where he's like, I now know what the Celestials are planning, and I'm not about that life, and I am not going to put up with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just love those dynamics, and I feel like with Sprite, it was very much, she was guided by her heart, and just saw like she was. I think she was just going to follow Icarus wherever the hell he went.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Athena, I think the ones that like were just kind of like indifferent about it were Athena, Makari, and Druid. And Gilgamesh didn't really learn what the Celestials were doing, right? Like he knew was about the deviants. Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because literally, oh god, when does she have that? Because when she goes out to like after they first get to Gilgamesh and Athena's place, and she actually like goes out and like gets a full on connection with oh my god, what's his name again? Starts with an A, right? Arishem.
Oh yeah.
However you say it. Him telling her like, hey, I created the deviants. They went against me, so I created the Eternals to basically destroy the deviants. Yada yada yada, all that stuff. And so she's telling, once she finishes that whole situation, she tells Icarus, Gilgamesh, Athena, and Sprite, and Kingo, and yeah, basically what's going on. And I'm assuming Gilgamesh was with her, it seemed, because what was it? Because when him and Athena are sitting in the woods, she's just like, well, why are we waiting? And he's just like, well, what is it? Cersei still doesn't know what we should do, so that's why we're waiting on her. So you could tell that he definitely agreed with Cersei's mission then. At least that's what it seemed like.
Okay.
Seemed like he was definitely on Cersei's side.
I can get behind that. But yeah, I think everyone did, like I said, hats off to the casting people, because they did an amazing job.
This casting was killer. Oh, so good.
Yeah, so I think a 92.5 is more than fair.
Yes, absolutely.
Moving on over to character development, we're sitting at an 89.5, which so far is the lowest score.
Wow. That's not even that low.
I know, right? I kind of did the team as a whole, just because like there were so many like mini stories in this.
Yeah, no, it's fair.
Yeah, I think the biggest one was with Cersei and Icarus, which I think is the one that we can definitely talk about more. But Cersei started off as a follower. She was just kind of whatever Ajax needed her to be, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't follow blindly, but she followed with love for the human people, and like maintained that love. But then that love was challenged when she became the leader of the Eternals after Ajax passing.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she became, because she was under the impression that Ajax knew best. And so when she became leader and learned what Arishem had planned for herself and her team, she kind of had to grow into her leadership role. Like, she struggled with making a decision for like a really good portion until people were kind of telling her to get her act together and be like, you're leading us now. You make the ultimate decision. And she did. So I thought that was like incredible. Like, and she gets to that point, and then she stands by her decisions as well, which I think you could have had her like hesitate more, but I love that they didn't.
Yeah. I feel kind of like, at least kind of at the beginning, where she like kind of starts to question everything that's going on is when she has to explain to Dane, you know, like who the Eternals really are, why they didn't interfere with Thanos or any other human catastrophe, and the fact that towards the ending when she's explaining everything, she's just like, and now we kind of just are, we've been here for over 7,000 years and we're kind of just waiting to be called back home. We don't know when that's going to be. And like it kind of seems that she's kind of confused by that, but she kind of just still follows blindly that, you know, it's going to happen eventually.
Yeah. And it makes like perfect sense why she has that hesitation to become the leader of the Eternals and take that role on. And even when it comes to defying the wishes of Arishem. So I think they did a really good job with that story. I think what brought it down though was the some of the side stories, like you said, probably could have been explored a little bit more, but and maybe they could have drawn out the whole deviant stuff and dealing with Crow, like maybe drawn that out just a little bit, but it just it wasn't important enough for them to do that.
Yeah, when the Eternals found out their real purpose and how basically they always thought that, well, as you know, Kingo said, you know, we are the heroes, that, you know, we create God, how did he explain it? Do you remember?
How did he explain what?
Like when Gilgamesh is kind of like, well, I always thought we were the heroes, but it turns out we're not. And he's just like, but we are the heroes. We give we give life, we help life, but then I think like someone chimes in, is just like, yeah, but then we take it away.
Yeah. Which is really shitty, because it does put you in like a weird conundrum.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yes, you could follow blindly, and I don't know, like it's such an interesting concept, like what and who the Eternals are.
It really is.
Because a bunch of different people, like they could be different. Like from one perspective, I think both perspectives are right. In one light, the Eternals are villains sent to ultimately destroy planets.
Yeah.
Almost like a Herald of Galactus does. And they have to like prepare this planet for its ultimate destruction. But in the same sense, it's giving birth to other worlds, other people. Yeah. Like countless other people. So it's just who's in the right there.
Yeah.
Like it's such a weird moral gray area. It becomes that like the lives of the few versus the lives of the many.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But yeah, I think they did an amazing job with that. So yeah, I think an 80, 89 and a half, pretty fair.
No, I agree.
Anything else you wanted to say about character development, or anyone else that you wanted to focus on?
Not really. I don't think so. I feel I did appreciate that Sprite does get a big character moment towards the end, and the fact that when she's when like the whole like fight is going on with Cersei, Druid, and Phastos trying to stop the oh my gosh, not resurgence, emergence, right?
Yes.
But yeah, Icarus and Sprite are trying. Well, I'm sorry, wait, I forgot. Makari is trying to stop it, but with Icarus and Sprite's trying to stop it, and that whole scene with Sprite being like, you know what, I always envied over you. Oh my god, I just forgot her name.
Makari?
No, Icarus and
Cersei.
Cersei, thank you. God, how did I forget her name? But how Sprite is just like, you know what I always kind of not hated about you, but I was always jealous of, is because of the way that you were developed as an Eternal, you actually looked like an adult age, where I was constructed as a child, so I never actually got to live a basically normal life on Earth. Everyone just saw me as a child. And so the fact that she is able to finally, live, because Cersei says, like, hey, I still have, power left over from the Unimind. I'm able to turn you human. Would you be okay with that? But, of course you're going to die. And she's just like, yeah, I would love that. And the fact that she gets to, experience that, she gets to experience growing up as a kid, actually gets to experience childhood, finding love, and just enjoying life. I thought that was actually a very good character growth for her.
I thought it was too. I thought it was also a very convenient way, if they ever wanted to bring her back, to justify her aging.
Yeah, seriously though. You know what? Good point. But kudos to them for being like, hey, loophole, bitch.
Yeah, they're gonna find a way and be like, hey, you're at the ripe age now. You can be an Eternal again if you want.
There we go.
Oh shit!
There we go. That was funny.
Yeah, but definitely a really good character arc. Moving on over to effects. With this one, so this one's sitting also at an 89.5. With this one, it gets a little interesting because it does have very rubbery looking effects at times, especially when you have like the flying. Like the biggest one I recall was the fight between Makari and Icarus. Like there were a lot of times where it felt like very, very rubbery at times. I will give them
this though. Maybe it's just because I'm so used to seeing Ezra Miller's The Flash running, in live action. And I think that they have learned from Quicksilver in Age of Ultron. I mean, he looked great, but I don't know. I think Makari's running, her super speed, some of the best super speed I've seen on film.
Dude, absolutely agree.
It looked great.
I really appreciated that they didn't try doing any slow-mo shit with her.
I did too. It was just super speed all the time. And that's how it should be.
That's
like, don't
exactly
get me wrong,
how it should
slow-mo
be.
is cool, but when I'm looking at someone that has super speed, I want to see them running fast as hell.
Yeah. Dude. They should have taken a note, or freaking Warner Brothers in general needs to take a note. Warner Brothers, I think, needs to take a note from this movie about how to do a speedster fight.
Oh, seriously, though.
Like, Makari was whooping Icarus's ass.
And it was freaking awesome.
It was so good. And, like, my favorite scene, and this is, like, exactly how I feel the Flash should fight. She was just laying punches on and then zooming off, zooming back, and just, like, freaking wrecking him.
Yeah.
And then, like, when she was punching him into the wall and just, like, multiple, like, back and forth, just pounding him into the freaking stone. It was, like, so freaking brutal. And, like, Flash has never done that.
Nope.
Like, that's how the freaking Flash should fight. The only, like, do I understand why the fight with Superman went the way that it did? Yeah, I get it. But it's just, that's how the fight should be. Because Icarus was struggling, and the only reason that he even got the one-up on Makari was because he's stronger.
Yeah.
And, like, borderline invulnerable. So that's, like, just the one thing that he had on her. So it was so... I loved the fight so freaking much. The only times the only time that pulled me out of it was whenever they were, like, showing, when they were, like, doing, like, struggling and, like, more or less grappling throughout. That looked very rubbery at times. I do 100% believe that they spilled the entire budget on the Celestials.
Yeah.
And the one scene that I wanted to talk about was the very end where, oh shit, what's his name? Arishem comes to Earth to get Cersei and the others that stayed on Earth, and the way he just appeared in the clouds, holy ballsack, bro. I was ready to shit myself with how cool that looked.
Right? And the fact that, like, everyone else can see it, like, it's not, like, naked to them.
That makes it so much more terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, dude, could you imagine how badly everyone was freaking out? Like, anyone who was around them. Like, you see this giant, faceless god appear into the sky, and then you see some lady just, like, fly into space. Like, my brain wouldn't work right ever again.
No, huh?
And just the way that, like, everyone was, like, checking on each other when he disappeared, I'm like, yeah, straight up, bro. Like, I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna end up in space.
Oh shit.
Like, oh, that would terrify the hell out of me.
Same here.
I hope they address this in future projects. Like, I want someone to be on Earth just, like, fighting, and then suddenly, boom, Celestial. Like, I want to see that scene from someone else's perspective. But,
yeah, fair.
Gosh. Yeah. Dude, I'm excited. Like, I hope that we get to see, also in future projects, that we get to see, maybe when they do, like, a far out view of Earth, that we get to see the hand of the Celestial that was being born.
Yeah, that actually would be really cool.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh. Speaking of, that whole scene was terrifying as hell.
Seriously, though.
Dude, I was getting tense.
Dude, I was too. Just like the fingers just starting to come up just ever so slowly. Just, oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like I said, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff. Like, just giant beings. Like, I not necessarily when it comes to, like, Godzilla versus Kong. But,
okay.
Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of that. But I did really like King Kong. The one with Jack Black.
Oh,
which is interesting. I also really liked Kong Skull Island. Just because of how giant that shit seemed. Like, it's just stuff like that.
Okay.
Like, I don't know why I didn't like Godzilla vs. Kong as much, but I'm a sucker for the giant beings. And so those giant beings is basically what sold me on the effects. The other thing that kind of brought it down, other than that rubbery fight scene, were the deviants. Like, they felt very out of place.
I feel like almost all of the powers that the Eternals had looked amazing with the special effects. How did you feel about Icarus's laser eyes?
I really liked it.
I liked that they were gold. I appreciated that it was something different. They weren't red.
Yeah, it kind of just matched the rest of the Eternals' powers. Like, they were all very, like, gold based. Like, Athena's weapon constructs were basically, like, drawn gold.
Yeah, can we talk about how bitchin' that is? Like, just being able to construct a freaking shield and a sword out of midair.
Yeah, like, oh my gosh, so cool. And then Kingo's was really cool too. Like, how it was like the way that he, like, just finger guns. But yeah. I think he did it in a way that, like, didn't feel like he was like, pew pew.
No, I appreciate that. For the most part, he did it. He had his fingers to the side. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. He had his fingers, like, palm down.
Yeah, and then, like, he did, like, different finger motions too, which I really appreciated. So it didn't just feel like I said, like, finger guns.
Yeah, no. So, and honestly, I feel that's a credit to Kumail Nanjiani's choice of how to do it. Unless someone, like, told him to do it that way, but if he was the one that decided to do it that way, kudos to him, because it definitely made it look a lot more kind of serious and not kind of, like, wonky and, like, kind of not as serious as, like, some of the other Eternals powers.
Yeah. Personally, my favorite ability from, like, all of the Eternals had to come from Gilgamesh.
Real? Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what, like, it kind of gave me some Hellboy vibes.
That, you know what? That's fair.
I freaking love that, like, just the way that it was, like, kind of a shield, because he would use it to, like, deflect Athena's attacks. But then just the way, like, I think it was just the way that he activated it, where it was, like, just kind of doing a small punch in the air, kind of like cocking a gun, and then just boom.
Yeah, dude, the one scene where it's after, like, he punches one of the deviants, and then freaking Icarus, Makari, and Kingo come in and help him take it down. But then it starts to get back up, and he freaking turns around, and then he just does a freaking bitch slap to him as a finishing move. It's so great.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and the first time that Athena kind of loses her mind, and like he freaking flips her on the ground and then just boom, like just sucker punches her. I'm like, shit.
Oh.
Like, oh my gosh, his power was so cool. Like his I don't even know how to explain it. Just his body language when he did that, like, just sold the ability. And I said, it was like cocking a gun. He's like you can almost hear it.
Yeah.
Anytime he did that, and it was so cool. Like I loved like how it looked drawn. Like everything looked drawn.
There's like one part I think where his arm actually looks like the Infinity Gauntlet, doesn't it?
I think that's just kind of how his power works.
Okay, well, you know what? That's freaking awesome. Because I loved that.
Yeah. It's like, so good. Like, all of their powers just were manifested so crazy.
Yeah.
Like, Makari's looked freaking awesome. Icarus looked super good. I think it's so hard to do laser eyes without thinking about Superman, especially true. Man of Steel. Like where, like I think the only one up that Man of Steel has is the like Superman's face glows, or like around his eyes start to glow, and it's not just like out of his eyeballs. It's like the skin around him.
Yeah.
So I think that's like the one thing that it has. Like they were able to do it a little bit, but not like Superman. So I think they were able to distinguish it enough.
Yeah, like that whole scene where Icarus is like literally getting his ass handed to him by that deviant, and he like the freaking deviant has him on the freaking floor with his head just pinned to the ground, and he's like trying to get up with his, and he's just like freaking like spewing just laser vision like everywhere. Like freaking kudos to the effects team because that shit was freaking intense.
Oh, no joke. Like I could go on and on about these effects. They were so freaking good.
They really were.
Honestly, like the things I brought up, that like little bit of a rubbery fight scene and the way that the deviants looked are the only reason I docked it.
No, same here.
Everything else looked crisp as hell.
Yeah, this is honestly some of the best effects I've seen in a Marvel movie.
Yeah. So yeah, sitting at an 89.5.
Not bad.
All right, next up we got music, which we unanimously agreed on a 9.
Hell yeah, this had some good ass music. The one track that stood out to me the most, and this was actually in the I think it was in the first trailer. I think it's called was it End of the World? It's the song in the teaser trailer when they do that pull-out shot of all the Eternals like standing on the kind of like the cliff area, and it goes with it. It ended when you said goodbye.
I'm not recalling that one.
In the movie, it plays when they first arrive in so it's after so it's as Phastos is leaving his family and they're going to pick up the Domo.
Okay, I'm vaguely remembering that one.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a pretty good song. Honestly, this is like the same thing. Like any other time I've given a movie a 9 and not a 10, it was just lacking something for me to hum. Everything else, it enhanced the scenes. Like they had like these epic musical scores that they used to basically enhance every scene. But
the main theme of the Eternals was kick ass.
Oh my gosh, so good. But yeah, honestly, it was just missing a catchy theme.
No, yeah, that's fair. I definitely agree with you on that one.
Other than that, I think the soundtrack for this was just on point.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Anything else music-wise stand out to you?
Not really.
Yeah, same here. Moving over on to costumes, though. Oh my gosh. The Eternals outfits are kick-ass.
Seriously, all of them look so good. I love that they're not all the same color. They're all different. I love it.
Oh my gosh. And I loved how it just kind of, yeah, like the different colors, like that really helps too with like just how epic everything is and how it kind of reflects their abilities too in a way.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like with Cersei, her outfit is green, is very like flowy and like very like almost royal looking.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And it's green, like reflecting her love of like nature, I would say, because she's able to affect like organic material.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's just playing off of that. And then Icarus with his suit being blue, like just a color that stands out, like it's bright and bold and just kind of stands out for him as a superhero. And then everyone else, like their colors, like with Athena, her color was white, just showing how elegantly she can move through a battlefield. At least that's what I gathered from it. Like her powers were very like light based and everything, so it was just like that elegance of jumping around, and yeah. And then I think they were a little on the nose with Makari being dressed in red.
Yeah.
I was just like, okay, basically female Flash.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, it definitely worked, but it's just like not dissimilar to the Flash.
Yeah. Nah, dude,
I'm like, you guys could have gone with a different color.
What
you
if they
probably should have, but whatever. And then Ajax was kind of a mixture of different colors, but she looked more as the leader, so she had a very different costume design than everyone else.
She got
almost,
a headpiece.
Yeah, almost kind of reminded me of like an archmage.
Ooh, yeah, okay. That's a good comparison.
Yeah, it kind of had like a pope looking hat.
Yeah.
On her, so just kind of like a spiritual guide, which I mean makes sense for who Ajax is. Also like a healer. And then what color was Gilgamesh? Because I remember Festus was purple. Druid was black.
Gilgamesh was kind of like an orange.
Orange?
But like a very like dark orange.
Okay. I mean, that kind of makes sense. Like, I feel like orange is used a lot when it comes to, like, strength.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's fair.
Which is odd for some reason. Like, I don't know why orange of all colors. Like, for me, it kind of reminds me of The Thing.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Then,
freaking Aquaman wears orange.
Oh, and then, Kingo. What color was he?
He was purple. Okay, so he was a lighter purple than Phastos. Wait, no, he was a darker purple. Phastos was a lighter purple, I think. Or was it the other way around?
I'm going to look up a picture of all of them.
Okay.
There are too many colors.
Yeah, there are.
Okay, yeah, Sprite was like a teal looking color. Fastest was like a dark purple. Yeah, Druid was black. Gilgamesh was like almost like a bronze.
Yeah, I think that's a better one.
Then Kingo was like gray with purple highlights.
Okay.
Super cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like I love like their costume designs. Like they're all very uniform. Like they have the little circle piece on the chest. Other than, actually, I think the only one that's different is Gilgamesh. Like he doesn't, his circle's like across his entire chest. Everyone else is just like right below the neckline, and it's like kind of a smaller one. It's like his entire torso.
Oh yeah, shit, it is. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, so love the costume design on this. It's very regal. In the instances that it needs to be very like bright. But I can't get enough of these costumes. Like these costumes are so cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I have nothing bad to say about these outfits. They were great.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen a shit ton of of people photoshopping Icarus's costume with the cape.
Oh really?
And basically making him look like Superman.
Oh goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Oh my.
But I like great costume design, like very like iconic looking.
Yes, absolutely.
Like I think it would be difficult to do like a silhouette of these, but if you were to just highlight the circles or like the everything that's highlighted from their suit, like it would be like you'd be able to immediately tell, oh, these are the Eternals.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, so I don't think it's like a perfect silhouette, but you can make it work. So, yeah, we ended up giving the costumes a 10. So, perfect score.
Yeah, rightfully so. Well deserved.
All right, last up, we got our own personal grade. So, I'll start this one out.
Okay.
So we can finish with you. I'm going to give this movie a 93. I had an absolute blast with this. It was not the typical Marvel movie, and I think it worked so well in its favor. Like, so freaking well. Like, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. And it does feel slightly detached from the rest of the MCU, but in a good way. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, you need to know all of this other Marvel information to watch this movie. Like, you can go into this movie completely blind to everything else the MCU is and still be able to understand what's going on. And I think that just plays into its strengths. So definitely don't go in with your expectations believing that this movie's going to be as bad as critics are saying, because critics don't know shit. Like, our breakdowns are the only scores that matter. Stealing a line from DJ. Hopefully we don't get copy strikes.
That'd be really funny if he did.
Right? It's been like you've been ordered a cease and desist letter from the untrained eye. Be like, I get it.
Yep. Not even mad, bro. Not even mad.
But yeah, like it was so good. Like, you get these characters that you genuinely care about, even the characters that aren't sole focus. And overall, it's an amazing story. So, yeah, I'm sitting at a solid 93.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree with everything Caleb said. Like you said, this is a very different Marvel movie, and it really works in its favor. I feel from what I've seen, the biggest reason why this film is getting so much hate is because it goes against the Marvel movie formula. And so people are just like, well, no, that doesn't work for me because this is how I like my Marvel movies to be. So I don't like them trying to do anything different, which, you know what? I get it. You know, you like to stick to the same stuff that you know and love. I get it, but I welcome this kind of different storytelling in the MCU. And this was actually my most anticipated Marvel movie of 2021, and it did not disappoint. I walked into this movie pretty excited. I was a little hesitant after hearing the reviews, but I walked out of this being, what's the word? Loving it as much as I thought I was going to, if not more. So I'm going to actually agree with Caleb's score. I'm going to give it a 93.
Hell yeah. All right, putting that at a 93. That is the last score that we needed. So that averages us out to a 93.
Hell yeah.
So the final All Bros letter grade for Eternals has come to A-.
Hell yeah.
And, oof. Yeah, so it is sitting at a 92.25%.
Woo woo.
So this is a pretty solid A-. Our cutoff for an A- is a 90%, so it's 2% higher. So it's just 2 points shy of being an A.
Okay, wow. Holy shit.
So, I mean, like we said, it's not perfect.
No.
Like, it definitely has some issues. But for what we've come to expect from Marvel movies, I think this exceeds it. Like, following the typical Marvel formula, I think could just get boring after a while. Because it's just like, oh, do you want to watch this movie where this person does this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then ultimately leads to this? Like with Eternals, it just kind of flips it on its head and does something completely different.
Yeah.
And I think that just shows how amazing it can be.
Absolutely.
All right. So sitting at a 92.25%. That puts it above Never Be Done, which was a documentary that we scored, or we graded, which was at a 92.21%. It is above Our Friend, which was at a 92.12%. Puts it above Logan, which was at 91.8%.
Holy shit.
It puts it above Coco, which was at a 91.4%. And then finally, it puts it above Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which was at a 91.20%.
So wait, it beat it by how much?
It beat it beat Shang-Chi by 1.05%.
Damn.
Yeah, not like a super large margin, but
it still takes the victory.
Yeah. That's a tough sell for me. Thinking that it's like in our score it's better than Shang-Chi, but looking at our Shang-Chi scores, it's kind of hard to argue with that.
No, see, I mean, like, I don't know. For me, I liked Eternals more than Shang-Chi, but I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it's 1% too, so it's like, what are you really bitching about?
No. They're still on the exact same level. They're both A- films.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's what it's above. But it is below A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, which was at a 92.31. It was also below Joker, which is at a 92.37. Damn. It was below Pulp Fiction, which is at a 92.43. Then it was below Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which was at a 92.59. And it is finally below Avengers Infinity War, which is at a 92.93%.
Yeah, fair enough.
So again, it is like very, very tight margins. Like the difference between Eternals and Infinity War is 0.7%.
Wow.
Yeah, it's toy.
It's toy.
Yeah, it's like it's super freaking tight, dude.
Just the way you said that was incredible.
Yeah, because just saying tight doesn't really. I don't feel it properly expresses how tight the margins are.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's where it's sitting, and I think it has a pretty decent home.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Well, that conclude. I forgot I was leading this episode. God damn it!
I could tell.
Shut up. Anyway, do you have anything else you want to say about Eternals?
No. Go check it out. Give this movie some love.
Yes, please, because it deserves it, in our opinion. But yeah, so if you like what you hear and you want to hear more of our beautiful, beautiful voices, be sure to follow and subscribe to us wherever you listen to podcasts. Even though we have switched to Podbean, we are basically still damn near everywhere. So if you want to check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all that good stuff. You should be able to find us there. You can also catch all of our episodes on YouTube if you prefer to listen on that platform. They are all on there as well. If you want to follow us on social media, where you can DM us with your episode ideas, answer our questions of the week, or that's also a great way to contact us if you want to join us for an episode. You can definitely get through to us there. For Facebook, it's facebook.com/The Allbros, Twitter and Instagram @The Allbros, or you could also email us at theallbroschannel@gmail.com if you would prefer to get in contact with us that way. And even though we don't have anything yet on it, we created a TikTok. So you can find us at The Allbros. So there we go.
Hopefully we have
officially on
something
TikTok,
to
guys.
go look up by the time this comes out.
If not, well, you know what? It's okay. Just know that eventually you'll be able to find some good stuff on TikTok of us.
Well, we're recording on a Wednesday. You have until Monday to post something.
Yeah, I can do this. Yeah, even if it's just me saying what this TikTok count is about. So yeah. But yeah, so besides all that fun good stuff, you can if you want to get one of our episode arts designed, or wow, if you want to, God, I'm really butchering this, Caleb. You should seriously
you're killing it, man.
Yeah, dude, you should seriously just lead and end every single episode. I'm just saying.
How about no?
But if you want to check out our merch store, you can check it out on tpublic.com/user/The Allbros channel. where hopefully you can find a design that you like if it hasn't been taken down by a studio. But if it has, you can go actually on our website, and that way you can actually design the kind of shirt or hoodie or whatever you want. You can actually design it the way that you want and put the actual like episode art that you would want on it. So if you wanted to get Sonic the Hedgehog or Scoob on there, you can actually do it there, because you sure as hell can't do it on TeePublic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah. Next week we will be breaking down the, I feel, groundbreaking sci-fi film The Matrix. This is our lead up to The Matrix 4, which is coming out late next month, right? Is that when Matrix 4 comes out?
Yeah. So it comes out late December, and we'll be breaking it down the first week in January.
Yeah. So you can look forward to that next week. But until then, this has been the All Bros Podcast. I am Jonathan.
And I'm Caleb.
And we will see you guys next week. Deuce. What the hell was that? You got anything? Because I don't know if you can do any worse than that. Yeah, see, that wasn't even worse than what I said. So, kudos to you.
Dude, just like the effort that looked that you went through.
Deuces.